Hello, Broadcaster here again with Vexados, and we are back for episode 15 of the Railcraft server Let's Play. And some things have changed. When we left off in the last episode, I just started installing this workshop, which you can see have been expanded quite a bit. We have a mystery machine down in there, which we're going to look at later or the next episode, depending on how time looks. In this episode, we're going to be focusing on getting this generator working. Now, this is a Stirling kinetic generator, which takes heat from these fireboxes and outputs kinetic energy into this kinetic generator, which outputs EU. Our primary power supply at the moment is this wind turbine up here, which does a decent job. It produces, at the moment, almost 20 EU per tick, but it is not sufficient for running ore processing for very long, which is a problem. This wind turbine, incidentally, is set up so that when this bat box fills up, it is set to stop emitting a redstone signal. So that it turns off this redstone torch. When it fills up, the torch turns on, which will extend this piston into the area where the blades are. And that will stop the turbine from producing power and wearing out. But I want the generator down there to get working so that we can get some more high-end power input for running the ore processing. The problem is that this Stirling kinetic generator needs water to run. It takes the water in. It basically acts like coolant, and it outputs hot spring water as a byproduct. The hot spring water can't be used for anything, so we will basically be voiding that. The problem is the water input, of course. Here we have finite water, but we have infinite water just a few blocks in that direction by the ocean. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a little railway where we are going to have a tank cart bring water in from the ocean. Now, as you can see, I've already dug a tunnel out from the base where we're going to place the track. And fortunately, we have a bunch of tracks already from dungeons and such, and mine shafts. So we're going to be using that, and hopefully it will be enough. Otherwise, I'll probably cut the video, and we'll have to make some more. But I think this should do. It's not that long a distance. And I've also made some booster track kits, which also will hopefully be sufficient, and a pair of locking track kits, which we're going to use in each end. I thought we were building above the water line. Didn't we say one block above? Oh, and as you can see, I've also made myself a drill, which is handy, and tracks are apparently very hard to break with anything that isn't a crowbar. Kind of makes me wish I'd brought my crowbar. You may also notice that I'm switching tools sometimes using a radial menu, and that is the tool belt mod You can see I'm wearing a tool belt as a bauble. And what it does is it allows me to store some tools in it. And I've upgraded it a few times so it can store this many tools. By default, it can store 3. And then I can switch them out using the a hotkey, which brings up the radial menu. We might make this look a bit prettier later on. So I just realized I don't have the pump with me. So I'm going to go get that. We're going to put an IC2 pump here, which is going to be pumping up water, obviously. It is going to be powered by a solar panel, and it's going to have its own bat box because the solar panel doesn't work well during the night, of course, and we might need water to flow even then. Now let's see. Should have the pump here. Solar panel. The bat box I'm already carrying. I don't need this right now. Probably put that here for now. Now, a problem is going to be getting water from the pump into the fluid loader, which needs to be a few blocks above. Not entirely sure how one would do that. The pump basically needs to be just above the water, like so. And then I guess what we'll do is we'll put the bat box there, so we don't have to use any cables. But the pump needs to be touching the water. It doesn't have any pipes or anything. It can't reach down to the water. No. You're thinking about the miner attached to a pump. But that only... Yes, you are. The pump doesn't have pipes. It has to be touching the water. So, yeah, it's a little unfortunate. Let's put the solar panel here, I guess. That should immediately start producing power. Wow, 40 EUs. I hope the pump doesn't use too much power. It shouldn't if its internal buffer is just 40 EUs. So I think what we need to do is basically... We're going to put the fluid loader here. And we're going to have to make pipes for this. But we can fake it for now. Because we'll have a look at the pipe making machine shortly. So if I can manually input some water like this. Okay, this is interesting. I haven't seen this. The fluid loader interface has changed a bit. I have 2 locking track kits. Boop. I need to go get the crowbar to change that to the right mode, however. We also need a tank cart. Can you make the tank cart? I also have no idea where the boosters need to go. We're going to have to test us to that. We We might need a bit more to get up this slope. I hadn't counted on that. But I guess we'll find out. I also need to eat. I just noticed. Also, these ducts here is part of the input system, and it is going to depend on the power level in this MFE, which is what this comparator is for. Here we have a little clock, which is a super circuit maker circuit, and the reason for that is that the battery still doesn't yes, should be in one of the lockers. The reason for that is that the battery still doesn't update the comparator, so it needs to have an external block update, which is unfortunate, but it is a necessity. Hence the simple clock pulsing on it. Now, crowbar is in my safe. I think I put it last. Never really used that for anything. So, yeah. We have a bunch of stuff to do. Still. This should be pumping water. It's not pumping. Are you? It might be facing the wrong way. I think the minecarts are in the right stone locker in the smithy. That should do it. Okay, there we go. Now the pump is pumping, and it's not using much power at all. That should be fine. I was afraid I was going to have to use more than one solar panel to power the pump, but it seems that one will be sufficient. So there we go, boarding mode for a cart, pointing in the opposite direction. It's getting dark. I guess we'll head inside and we'll take a look at making those pipes that we will need. I can probably go in the proper way. Might want to put a gated track on the tunnel exit and have it open for carts so that mobs can't wander in. Glass we'll have to make. How much do you need? 7? 8, okay. I'll put that in the furnace. I had some sand. Let's see. So, this machine in here, we have a new mod called Advanced Rocketry. And the mod is primarily for space things. It's similar to Galacticraft, but it's a little more accurately made, I think, and it has you building your own rockets, similar to Kerbal Space Program, but not really, which I like. And it adds a bunch of machines, and this here is one of them. And it also adds fluid and RF pipes. I still need to eat. And we haven't had any proper fluid pipes before. We have the refractory hoppers from Foundry, but they are kind of crappy and can't carry fluids upwards. But now we have proper fluid pipes. Unfortunately, you need this machine here to be able to make them. Let's have a snack as well. So this is a rolling machine from Advanced Rocketry. Although, actually, it's the components to it. So you can see here we have a motor, we have some frames, we have output hatches, input hatches, a fluid hatch, which is kind of useless, but it's part of the assembly, so it has to be there. We have an IC2 plug. Fortunately, Advanced Rocketry supports Industrial Craft 2. and we have a couple of copper coils. And here we have the core block, the rolling machine block. And if I right click this, it will assemble these components into the machine, like so. It now looks a little more interesting. The tank where the fluid input is has H2O on it, so it's probably for water intended, but there aren't any recipes. The machine looks neat. It has a nice huge model, which I kind of like. If we right click it, we have an interface which will show some processes. Now I need a couple of copper plates. So to make the pipes, hopefully Railcraft plates will work. They should. So I'm going to put these in here in the input hatches, which can still be accessed. Now it doesn't do anything because I haven't turned it on. It has a switch in the main interface there. And okay, it doesn't look like it works with Railcraft plates, which is unfortunate. So we're going to have to make a couple of non-Railcraft plates then. Fortunately, we have a lot of molten copper, so that is rather simple. Let's make 2 of them. Oh, right. This outputs Railcraft plates now. Although it does show the recipe. It should work. The recipe has Railcraft plates in it. I'm not entirely sure why it's not running. Why isn't... Oh, maybe it needs water. That's what the input is for. I hadn't considered that it would need water for regular running. That would make sense, though, that there is a fluid input but no fluid component in the recipes. So let's run out into the night, into the darkness, into some spider webs, cobwebs, and get some water quickly before we are attacked by something. I need to look at making night vision goggles next, I think. Oh, I got the tank cart. Nice. We'll be able to start trials with that as soon as it becomes day. Doesn't look like I'm followed by any zombies. Alright, let's put some water in this rolling machine and see if that gets it working. Well, it accepted the water. It took in the plates. And we get 2 copper sheets. Nice. So it was the water that was missing. Okay. Maybe I should read the instructions next time. Alright, so these copper sheets, together with 6 clay each, becomes 32 pipes. Oh, I had too much clay. Oh well. Which is quite a lot of pipes, actually. But that's fine by me, because making the machine was rather difficult. So, now once it becomes daytime again, we should be able to head out and set this up properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut here, and we'll be back once the sun comes up, which will be in approximately 4 minutes. So we will see you then. Alright, so we are back. Vexidus had to leave, unfortunately, but we are going to continue setting this up. So now that we have the pipes, we should be able to get the water from inside, or from the pump to the fluid loader. So the pipes are pretty simple. You just connect them to between whatever you want to transfer from. They don't do anything on their own. They have to be powered by a redstone signal, and you power the end where you want to pump from, like so. So now we should have water flowing from, that's nice 3D effects there. Now we should have water flowing from the fluid loader to the, or from the pump. So now if I put the cart here, okay, the crowbar, give it a little nudge into there, and okay, it's filling. Seems like there may be an issue with the level updating, or maybe it's just filling too slowly. No, I think there's an issue with updating the model. Yeah, definitely. It only updates the level on the actual model when you open the interface, which is a bug. But once this is full, it should shoot off, and it will get part of the way about there. So, all right. Should have some redstone on me. We need to, I forgot we needed redstone torches to power the booster tracks. Let's put one there, and then we'll take out the crowbar again, give it a nudge in that direction. It's going to go back to the loader, and then it's going to come back here. Get a boost, and then we'll see how far it gets. About here, so I guess this. We'll have to do this until we get it all the way. And at this point, I'm suspecting that we don't have enough boosters. So we might need to make a few more of those. We also have the potential problem of mobs. Okay, that doesn't work. Bumping into the or blocking the cart. I think mobs should stay off of tracks unless they are chasing a player. So hopefully that will not be a problem. And yeah, I think the cart might make it all the way up here, but I don't think it's going to get further than that. It's definitely not going to get all the way into the base. So we're going to need a couple more boosters. Yeah. That's pretty good though. We just need a few more to make it, because this stretch doesn't have much resistance because it's not uphill, obviously. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with the input here. I guess we'll just put let's just make a little receiver station here, a little depot, I guess. And once again, we'll make this look prettier later off camera. I'll do the dirty work. And we need to put the unloader underneath the track, of course, because gravity. That should do. And then we take out the crowbar and we'll get this into that mode. Put that back in there. That should be fine. And then we'll have a pipe coming off here, going into there. Actually, I guess I could have it go underneath the floor and connect to the bottom. And then we could have the output on the top. Actually, let's make a couple more booster track kits first. So we're going to need some gold. Now I have liquid gold here. Let's get some of that. And we're going to make some gold ingots. Let's say 6 of them. So we're going to need some advanced rails. Let's see, the exactly 6. Perfect. Let's put the rest back in here. So the booster track kits require 2 advanced rail, a piece of redstone, some wood, and track parts. So we need, to make the advanced rail, we need a bit of redstone and a bit of gold. And then we have a manual rolling machine at the moment. I'll probably upgrade this into a proper rolling machine in the future. We also, by the way, have a new mod that makes it so that RF machines, or forge energy machines, can run off of IndustrialCraft 2 power. Because previously you were forced to use the electric engines, which was kind of inconvenient because you had no way of controlling them. Since we don't have Buildcraft in 1.6, we don't have gates, and gates are pretty much the only way of controlling effectively, or at all, controlling the engines at all, depending on the state of the machine. So now we've made it so that you can power any machine with IndustrialCraft 2, because it is our primary or only power mod, basically. So that's how it is. Unfortunately, in this version of that mod, we cannot use cables to connect to RF machines. That is only in the 1.11 version, and it would be too difficult to port that functionality. What you can do, however, is use something like a... we need some more sticks for redstone torches. What you can do, however, is use a transformer, because any block that outputs EU will output into a forestry machine, for example, or any RF machine. So that will work. Otherwise, you would have to use a battery block for each machine, which would be a kind of a waste. And also now with advanced rocketry, we have the RF or power pipe, which will transfer forge energy or RF. So you can have that connect to a transformer and then connect that to multiple, or to a bat box or something, I suppose, and have that transfer the power to multiple machines, which is even more convenient. And this mod was added in just the last pack update. Now we're almost out of time, but I'm hoping to get... I want to get the water into the station here before we end. Let's make a few more redstone torches. And now we can put, let's sprint over here. Let's get the crowbar, push this back out here. We can put a boost there. Let's see how far the cart gets on that. It's getting dark again. Maybe it'll get all the way. Maybe not. It's a little laggy. We can put another one here for a bit of an extra boost. And put one here as well. And that should do it. That should be all we need. And it's those additional boosters should keep it from slowing down this much. But it got there. Should now be outputting water into here. So now we are basically going to dig down here and probably one block more, and here somewhere we should have the bottom of the Starling kinetic generator. So we put our pipes like this. And jump. Put that there like that. And then we need a redstone signal on that. That should do. Turn that on. That should be working. If we look here, we see water. And it doesn't hold much, but that is perfectly fine. Oh. Operation complete. We want I want it to only go when the cart is empty. So basically just supply. I think that's the closest I'm going to get right now, but I think that's not quite what I want. Also not sure what the deal is with the lighting difference with these, or whatever is causing the Railcraft tracks to look darker. But whatever. So this is working now, obviously. And hopefully, like I said, we won't have issues with mobs bumping into the cart. Although, because of the downward slope, if the cart stops, it should roll back down the hill to the pump and then get sent off again. So that should not be an issue, I don't think. And with that, we are going to end this episode. Oh, it does keep it. Okay, nice. I think this description is a little wrong. But yes, also this doesn't work for some reason. But here, I'm going to end the episode. And I will see you in the next one.